Hi everybody, this is Wanda Williams. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I wanted to show you how I made this card. This is the gorgeous grape color that Stampin' Up! Just brought in, and of course, I'm a purple girl, you know me. So what we're going to use today are the stamp sets Pop of Petals, which makes the flowers. And then the sentiment is from Enjoy Life, how beautiful a day can be when kindness touches it. We're also going to use the tufted embossing folder. I love this folder. It gives it such a pretty texture on it. And because it is a dynamic folder, you only need one plate when you run it through your Big Shot. We're also going to use the leaf punch to punch out for our foliage, and we're using the 4-petal flower to punch out our flowers. We're also going to use, of course, the gorgeous grape ink to stamp our flowers. I'm also using the small Stitched Seasons die. This is a limited edition. It's only available through the end of August or while supplies last. So this is a definitely gotta have. And there's a stamp set that goes with it, which is not right here right now, but you can look it up on my online store at stampingwithwanda.stampinup.net and you can take a look at it. So let's get started making our card here. So what you will need for pieces to make this card, you need a piece of cardstock that's 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to score it at 4 1/4. You're also going to need another piece of gorgeous grape that is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. You're going to need a piece of basic black that's 5 by 3 3/4. A piece of whisper white that is 4 1/4 by 4 for the inside. For your focal piece, whisper white at 3.5 by 3. And then you're going to need a scrap of garden green, and this is what we punch our leaves out with. So a friend of mine, hi Jody, asked me the other day when she watched my videos, she said, how do you score? So I'm going to show you guys how I score today. So you need your paper trimmer. The dark blade is a cutting blade, so we want to move that out of the way, and the lighter blade is a scoring blade. So you open your trimmer, you line your cardstock up at 4 1/4, and then you run your scoring blade, and that gives you your crease to fold. Now the way that I fold them, where you've run your scoring blade, that breaks the fibers, so you want to fold with that on the outside. Take your bone folder and crease your edge, and that's your card base. So your 4 7/8 by 5 3/8, you need to run that through your Big Shot with your tufted embossing folder on the inside, and I've already gone ahead and done that to save a little time, and it just gives you this beautiful impression because of the dynamic folder part. So we want to attach this to your basic black. And what I've learned with this folder is that you do need to use your Tombow multi-purpose adhesive, and that it helps to have it stick down, whereas if you use just regular snail, it will pop up on you. Ask me how I know that. So anyway, what I do is I lay this down and get it started, and then I take my third hand and I lay it on top of it so that it will have a chance to adhere to the black cardstock while I'm doing something else. So the something else I need to do is punch out, stamp and punch out flowers. So we can move this up here a little bit out of the way. Now, one of the things I've learned about this stamp set, the Pop of Petals, is that the flowers are not symmetrical. So you want to be able to line your punch up with your flower so that it punches out correctly. So the way that I did that was I took my punch and I punched a piece of cardstock. Get a scrap here. So you just punch it out. Okay. Then you turn it over, because of course once you stamp it you're going to turn it over, and then you try and line up your punch with your stamp, and once you find out where it's at, where it sits in there perfectly like that, then you turn it over and you take a Sharpie and you make a little mark so that you can tell which is the bottom, and that's how you can go ahead and stamp it and then go ahead and continuously punch. So let's get started with some stamping here. So there's my little black mark. I know that needs to be on the bottom. Okay. Close this up for now. So I'm just going to go ahead and punch this out. Makes it so much easier when you get it, when you figure out what is up and what is down. Okay. So we've got our flowers punched out. We'll set those aside for now. And I want to take my scrap and cut out punch out two flowers. We'll set those aside for now. Okay, this should be well enough that I can take this off. So we're going to attach this to our card front. Use a little bit of Tombow for this. And because it is not as lumpy as the tufted embossing folder is, then we can just sit this on here and hold it down for a few seconds with our hands to give it time to adhere. Okay. So now we need to stamp our sentiment on our 3.5 by 3 piece of Whisper White. Get our ink out again. And because we're using a photopolymer stamp, you should always use your piercing mat so that it has a little bit of cushion, because the photopolymer have no cushion like the red rubber stamps do. So we'll just ink this up. Press down and up. And then I'm going to use this die to cut it out. And I've already gone ahead and done that to save a little time for you guys. But I want to show you how beautiful this cuts out. It stitches on the inside and it also stitches on the outside. So you could use this piece for something else if you wanted to. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting our flowers together here. So I just want to use just a little bit of glue on the inside and just offset them. And then for the leaves, what I did was I cut one of the leaves, one of the petals from the leaf off. And I used glue dots to attach it to the back of the flower. So I did the two first. I just laid that on there and picked it up. And then just where I thought it would be cute, attach it back there. And then on this one, I set it kind of over to the side. So on your next one, you need to do them kind of opposite so that they are more, I'm a kind of symmetrical girl here. So when you lay your leaves on here, then your flower is going to go in the opposite direction when you put it on your card. So I need some dimensionals to start putting this on my card base. I'm going to have one in the center. Take your release paper off. Get your card base. And just sit that down there. Then you decide where you want to put your flowers. So that means you need a couple of dimensionals along the back edge, and I try and catch the leaves. It just gives it a little bit more structure. And then we're going to use just a tiny bit of glue where it's going to sit on the sentiment, just to give it a little bit more strength. Let's do our second one in front of my face. Okay, so here's my two dimensionals and a little bit of glue. And we're going to sit this down right about here. Okay, now we've got to add some bling. I'm using the large rhinestones for the center of the flowers. Okay, so the outside is done. So we're going to do the inside with our 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of Whisper White. And I just want to put one little flower on the inside, just something to cute it up. And this one, it doesn't matter how you put it on there. It's such a pretty flower. And we're going to just add just a little bit of Tombow. and stick it down to our card. Easy peasy. Okay, so if you'd like to order any of the products that I used today and you don't already have a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. You can go to my online store at stampingwithwanda.stampinup.net to order anything. If you have any questions, you can contact me at the number below in the video. I'd also love to have you on my team. On my website, there's a button that says Join the Fun. It's in the upper right-hand corner. Just click there and follow the prompts. I'd love to have you on my team, so contact me if you have any questions. Bye-bye.